Hi, and welcome to your Urban Connection. Remember, this is the channel that is often imitated, but is never duplicated. Now, I want to bring you a story here about well, first of all, let me say this story comes to us from The Independent. And The Independent is an online TV channel. Now, this story basically originates in Florida, but it has major implications right here. And this story is about a Black MAGA supporter in Florida who was working for a right-wing organization, allegedly doing canvassing and voter canvassing. I don't know about registration, but voter canvassing. And I will tell you about the story and tell you, I want to read this headline to you. A Black Trump supporter claims he was called a slave by a right-wing organization that he was canvassing for. Now, a MAGA fan by the name of Carl Baxter, who heads up a county Republican club in Florida, is suing the Koch brothers, Americans for Prosperity, for alleged discrimination. Now, Mr. Baxter, a diehard Trumper in Florida, says he was discriminated against by a right-wing political advocacy group, claiming he was called a slave during his 12 days with the organization before it fired him for complaining. Now, Baxter, who is Black, is suing Americans for Prosperity, which is a Koch-funded and Koch-backed advocacy group. The nonprofit grassroots conservative operation established by Charles and David Koch, the billionaire siblings and hardline climate change deniers. Now, give you a little story, and I'll read you up a little bit here so you can get an understanding of how this all came about. It didn't last long. It only lasted for about, basically less than 2 weeks, about 12 days in total. But I want to read to you here exactly what happened in this story and how this all came about. Baxter, who serves as president of the Republican Club of North and East Fort Myers, is not at all shy about his outsized affection for Donald Trump. He can be seen on social media at Trump appearances, waving a MAGA flag at a Trump truck parade, at charity galas, giving the cameras a Trumpian thumbs up, and donning a red MAGA hat, and posing with, among others, a county tax collector who has come out as a ferocious opponent of critical race theory. So here's a guy that is a dyed-in-the-wool MAGA Trump supporter. Okay, so AFP, which is the Americans for Prosperity, has been around since 2004, and they gained prominence after Barack Obama was sworn in as president. It has traditionally focused on hollowing out workers' rights, blocking Medicaid expansion, kneecapping green energy initiatives, and pushing down the minimum wage. Since 2010, some 42% of AFP's ads have been rated as false by Political Fact, the nonpartisan fact-checking website. None of those ads have been rated true. The group backed Nikki Haley in the 2024 presidential race before she dropped out in March. So this is a group that's been around for a long time. It's pretty well known across the country, and it's well known that it's funded by the Koch brothers. And so this is how this thing ends up. When I say it originated in Florida, but it ends up here because the suit is for the Koch brothers, okay? because they're the main funders of this organization, and they're the ones that are behind it. Now, Baxter's lawsuit, which was filed on Monday of this week and obtained by the Independent, describes him as an African American businessman who is active in local politics. It says he was brought in by AFP in June of 2023, okay, to work as a part-time grassroots associate. Baxter's duties consisted of canvassing neighborhoods to talk with voters about AFP selected policy issues and driving to and from these neighborhoods, according to the lawsuit. AFP agreed to pay him $20 an hour for the door knocking duties, plus an unspecified mileage reimbursement. The lawsuit states, he stated on June the 14th of 2023, he started on June the 14th, 2023, and his job performance, according to the suit, was exemplary. Okay, now that's what he was told, I assume, that his job, he was doing a good job, it was exemplary. Now, however, the lawsuit says Baxter quickly became disenchanted with AFP. Early in the plaintiff's tenure, AFP's deputy director of grassroots met the plaintiff at the Oasis restaurant in downtown Fort Myers and offered the plaintiff $500 in a bribe money to provide dirt on Cape Coral Council member Patty Cummins. The suit alleges, and the plaintiff declined. Now, if you understand here, let me tell you what the focus of this was. The Americans for Prosperity, and I think it's pretty well documented that the Koch brothers have no love for Donald Trump. So the focus here, based on what this guy's saying, is the focus was to keep Donald Trump from being nominated for the president for this 2024 election, and also to work against any supporters for Donald Trump candidates. And apparently this woman, this councilwoman, was a supporter and was running for office. So she was offered, according to him, $500 to find dirt on this woman, which he refused. Now, I don't know if that is what started this whole downhill move for Mr. Baxter or not, but let me read on. Baxter also felt that AFP was not giving him credit for all the hours he worked and for all the doors he knocked on, and they were shorting him on his pay, the lawsuit contends. So, 12 days into the job, the suit says he raised his concerns on a phone call with his supervisor, AFP Grassroots Engagement Director, Roxanne Buckles. Now, Ms. Buckles is white, and of course, she is an AFP supervisor. Now, Ms. Buckles, according to Baxter, proceeded to call him a slave and demanded that he had asked him to and demanded that he present himself as a slave, stating as follows: "I know you are doing the work, and I can see the doors that you have been hitting on my iPad on my side. At least you're getting paid. Many slaves today do get paid. Many used to never get paid. Are you a slave?" Now, you know, that's almost unbelievable that someone would say something like that to anybody, whether or not it's an employee or a total stranger or whatever. That's just unbelievable, unthinkable. All right? Yeah, especially here's a grown man. And I don't know how old Mr. Baxter is, but judging from what I've seen in pictures, Mr. Baxter's probably in his late 60s or maybe early 70s. So he's a full-blooded grown man, all right? Now, so Mr. Baxter was deeply offended by this conversation, all right? So he asked Miss Buckles, he asked Miss Buckles if he could speak with her supervisor. Now, she arranged okay, the lawsuit says that Ms. Buckles then arranged a conference call with her boss, who is also white, to discuss Baxter's concerns. Now, I want you to listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. A few minutes with AFP state operators direct on the line, also white. She had a brief conversation, and then they terminated that conversation. And he says a few minutes later, she called him on the phone and had another state supervisor on the line. And at that time, they terminated the plaintiff's employment without notice, effective immediately. Okay? So basically, he was fired without an investigation or anything. He was fired based on the conversation that he'd had with these two supervisors who were white. And then he was fired by the third supervisor, who was also white. Now, the lawsuit says that Baxter still, and remember, this is 2023 when this happened, June. So we're talking well over a year. The lawsuit says Mr. Baxter still has not received the wages AFP owes him, nor has he been paid back for any of his mileage. By the same token, Baxter claims in his suit that AFP paid white employees without issue. The suit accuses AFP of racial discrimination, retaliation, and wage theft, and demands back pay and legal fees, as well as exemplary, punitive, and compensatory damages for plaintiff, emotional pain and suffering. Now, an AFP spokesman said, he told The Independent, while we do not comment on current litigation, we take all allegations or violations of the law extremely seriously and will fully investigate those made in this complaint. Now, this is an unusual case, and like I said, it's almost unbelievable. But you know, I gotta tell you something. This is Florida, okay? And a lot of strange things happen in Florida, and in particular to Black people. All right. I mean, just think about what Governor DeSantis has done and tried to keep Black people from voting. They're banning books out there. They're banning what they call critical race theory, which basically does not even exist in the public school system. All right. There's never been any evidence that I have seen that showed, excuse me, that there was any evidence of critical race theory being taught in the public school systems. It is taught maybe in law schools and colleges, but not in the public school system. But these governors and some legislators are just taking advantage of hearsay with no evidence and taking it upon their own to protect white people from feeling, as they say, feeling guilty about America's history as far as Black people are concerned. So anyhow, Baxter, I'm sorry. Okay, so let me get back to this now. The group backed Trump's, well, I told you that they backed Trump's Haley. Trump chafed at AFP's support of Haley, posting last January to his flailing Twitter clone, True Social, that Americans for no prosperity who made more money during the Trump years than at any other time, now I don't believe that for 1 minute, are stupid people who are being bird brain, who are backing bird brain, and she goes down the tubes. Bad timing, Charles. Now I have to assume he's referring to Charles Koch, right? But if you live here and you know about the Kochs, you know they were making plenty of money before, and basically you might say they're making asinine money before Trump ever took office. So for him to claim that they were making more money during his administration is another one of his big lies. That's what it is. Now, this issue here, I want to get down here to his attorney, but I want to say, first of all, a source with direct knowledge of the situation noted that Baxter was technically working for AFP as a contractor and said AFP was not, in fact, his direct employer. Buckles, who did not respond to requests for comment. Now, I just want to tell you also here, folks, this story I've been sitting on for a day. And the reason for that is because I tried to get in contact with, I placed a call to Koch Industries to talk with Mr. Charles Koch. And I was not going to do the story until I heard back from him. I wanted to get some comment and ask some questions from his point of view on this suit, but he never called me back. So, I went ahead and did it. Now, I also want to tell you that I attempted to reach Mr. Baxter and his attorney down in Florida, but I was unable to reach either one of those people. So I don't have any response from them. We'll have to wait and see how this lawsuit moves through the courts. But I'm going to make a prediction to you. I predict, because this guy's got some pretty good witnesses, and I predict, as a matter of fact, there were some people that were talking about the actions and activities of the AFP down in Florida, and they were saying that this AFP apparently has been overtaken by a new group of people, and these new people are nothing like the original people that I guess started this. And AFP started from the Tea Party. Okay, they basically took over the Tea Party and took it in a different direction into where it is now. But I'm going to predict that this suit will probably never see the inside of a courtroom, because I think that this will be settled in his favor. Now, that's my prediction, and that's based on what I've seen. I've done a little research on this, and like I said, I've seen some people, and these were white people basically, and one black guy, the president of the local NAACP down in Florida, and they have come to this guy's defense, saying that if this guy, he's very trustworthy, he's very well respected in that community. He's been there for a long time, and so they say basically, if this guy says it, there has to be something to it. Now, I'm not going to say one way or another because I'm not down there. I don't know. Like I said, I got this story from the Independent. They did their investigation and talked to people, and they printed this article. They just published this article. So I don't know. I'm not here to say whether or not he's innocent or whether or not AFP is guilty. I don't know. But it seems to me that there is something amiss here because of the fact that this guy, and I don't know, he's supposed to be getting $20 an hour plus an unspecified amount for his travels and gas money. And he's saying, according to him, he's not received the wages that he was due, and he's not received 1 penny of the money that he spent for allowance for gas and traveling. So, now, surely, if this thing is on the up and up with AFP, they would have some records, if it's nothing more than a canceled check, where they had to pay this guy some monies. All right. And it has to add up to what he's claiming here. And if they don't have that, it's going to look awfully bad on them. So basically, what's happening, we'll keep you abreast, but this guy is suing for race discrimination, retaliation, theft, wage theft, and he's asking for, as I stated there, quite a bit of damages, monetary damages from pain and suffering, and we'll see what happens. But I predict that this thing is going to be, first of all, embarrassing. It has to be embarrassing for Charles Koch and anybody else associated with Americans for Prosperity. Now, so what I think you want to do is get this thing off the front pages of the newspapers, off the internet, okay, and make this thing go away. And the way you do that is with a settlement. And I would suggest probably the sooner the better, because this is not looking good right now at this time. But like I said, in 2024, it's almost unbelievable that you would have someone talking slavery to any individual in the United States, and especially an older Black male. Unbelievable. And so that's the story. The lawsuit was filed, like I said, on last Monday. So it's new, and it's nationwide. I can tell you that the publicity is nationwide on this. So I would suggest that somebody in that Koch administration or Americans for Prosperity side of it make some amends quickly and make this thing go away. All right. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.